immunity under Cap 12 of the laws of Zambia, simply meaning for as long as you do not mislead the committee, all is well. But should you mislead the committee, you may even be convicted for misleading the committee. But I've got no doubt that the entire PS and definitely the team can come all the way from their good offices to come and mislead the committee here. So all is well. Please, let's go in the subject matter on the Anti-Human Trafficking Amendment Bill. Thank you. Please, sir.
Thank you, Chair. With your permission, I'll just read the submission.
Please.
Yes, sir.
Please, as you go through, just take note that we are being recorded and you may appear on the radio, so it's always good to come out, the voice to come out well and articulate yourself very well, because it's also meant for the general public.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And even TV you may appear. Thank you.
Chair, Zambia has a youthful population aged between 18 and 35 years. This population accounts for over 6 million of Zambia's population. It should be noted that this age group is within the bracket of the productive labor force and remains key in the pursuit of sustainable development. Further, the young people between 18 and 24 years of age are about 1.2 billion, accounting for nearly 16% of the world's population, with almost 90% living in less developed countries. This according to the UN report 2020. In pursuit to better their livelihood, young people, youth, and women continue to face various challenges, such as inequality, limited employment opportunities, lack of access to quality education and training, limited access to finance opportunities, unlimited youth or women entrepreneur development and growth opportunities, just to mention a few. In view of the foregoing, human trafficking is on the increase as these vulnerable groups are searching for jobs which promises a better life but ends being a case of human trafficking. In this regard, the memorandum provides views of the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts on the Anti-Human Trafficking Amendment Bill number 16 of 2022 as follows. The Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts supports the enactment of the amendment of Anti-Human Trafficking Bill number 16 of 2022, section 3A. 1. Provides for any person who recruits, transports, transfers, harbors, receives or obtains a child within or across the territorial boundaries of Zambia for the purpose of exploitation, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term not less than 30 years and may be liable to imprisonment or life. In this regard, the bill will strengthen the implementation of child development programs through enforcement of laws that promote and protect the rights of the youth and women, especially the child. The Anti-Human Trafficking Amendment Bill, when enacted into law, will create a safe and friendly environment and provide legal frameworks that will protect the lives of young people, the youth, sportspersons, artists, and women seeking employment opportunities within and outside Zambia. Further, the Human Trafficking Amendment Bill will also offer safeguards for youth and children seeking access to quality education, employment opportunities, and decent work within and outside Zambia by ensuring authenticity of the recruiting agency or organization. The Anti-Human Trafficking Amendment Bill, Section 3A.1, clearly states that any person who recruits, transports, transfers, harbors, receives, or obtains a child within or across the territorial boundaries of Zambia for the purpose of exploitation, commits an offense, and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term of not less than 30 years, and may be liable to imprisonment or life. The punishment included for perpetrators of human trafficking is firm enough to deter would-be offenders. This action cannot go without commending the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security for pursuing and ensuring that protection of the vulnerable population of the country, such as artists, sportspersons, and the youth, is enhanced. Section 7, 1C, provides that any person that knowingly advertises, publishes, prints, broadcasts, distributes, or causes the advertisement, publication, printing, broadcasting, or distribution of information that facilitates the trafficking in persons by any means, including the use of internet or other information knowingly, is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term not less than 15 years and not exceeding 25 years. This inclusion in Act will hold accountable any individual that would be publishing such kind of information. Chair, the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts supports the enactment of the Anti-Human Trafficking Amendment Bill 2022A. 1. A person shall be considered a victim of trafficking in persons if that person is certified by the department as a victim of trafficking in persons in accordance with the procedure as prescribed in the Act. This will address gaps in enforcement of laws pertaining to protection of young people, the youth, sportspersons, artists, and women from human trafficking such as forced labor, sexual slavery, as this is the category which is prone to such vices. In addition, the Anti-Human Trafficking Bill will help prevent and counter trafficking measures that ensures that the Zambian people, especially the young people, the youth, the women, as it will provide for aftercare, protection, and rehabilitation of victims of human trafficking while protecting their rights. In conclusion, moving forward, the Anti-Human Trafficking Bill clearly is earmarked to protect people, especially the youth, sportspersons, and artists, from being tricked or taken from their home country and then forced to work for the purpose of exploitation. It is worth noting that men, women, and children are abducted or tricked into human trafficking, even in our own country, or to be shipped overseas to other countries. In this regard, the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Arts supports the amendment of the Anti-Human Trafficking Bill, which is aimed at protecting the lives of Zambians, especially the vulnerable. Chair, might I also add that this support and this bill couldn't have come at a much more needed time than the one we have right now, where 12 of our young people, 13 actually, yes, were found yesterday. So as a ministry, we are in total support of this bill.
Please. Most grateful, sir. Honorable members, time to interact with the Permanent Secretary. Any points of clarification, questions? Honorable Simbao.
PS, thank you so much. I just want clarification, but before I ask for that, it's interesting you have brought up the issue that is about yesterday. As a ministry yourself, I know this is like futuristic, but as a ministry yourself, what are you thinking? Are you planning to go and assist those young people there? Are you going, or you are going to wait until this is enacted, or maybe you already have that? The other thing, PS, that I would like to hear your views is about the words you are saying, knowingly is liable. In other words, you are saying when someone is involved in such acts knowingly, then they will be punished. But don't you think everyone will come and say, I didn't know? For example, one can say, oh, I'm recruiting for this university in UK, wants some students, and I'm the agent. He recruits those people. And later on you realize that actually it was fake, it was this. He'll just come and say, sorry, I didn't know. Don't you think there is a weakness in there? Thank you, Chair.
Please. You may attend to that one, sir.
Yes, sir. the first question, Chair, that the Honourable Member of Parliament asked, I think is very pertinent. In what modalities are we as a ministry going to employ, even futuristically? I think the issue of youth, whenever it comes up, I think for us, it's a very sensitive matter because it is our mandate. And even when the first reports of the young girl Pamela came out, I think I remember rather that a statement was issued by my minister concerning the same matter, and also urging the public to work with law enforcement agencies to bring culprits to book so that the young lady, at that time we didn't know that there were so many, may be found. And so as a ministry, because of the sensitivity of this matter, I think it's incumbent upon us that futuristically we are planning that we should use our arts department, which is music, which is documentaries, which is film, to highlight the dangers that human trafficking brings to a society. And so we know that the youth speak the language of music, film, and movies. And so we have an extra eye for those proposals and projects that we're getting from young people that want to deal in the topic of human trafficking. So we will support that so that we can sensitize the young people to that in that regard. We also have sports. And you know that Zambia is a sports-loving country, football-loving country. We feel that we can use the sports platforms that even before games we can announce or sensitize or show information to the public, to the young people, on the dangers of human trafficking. That sometimes it's not just about looking at the internet and thinking that there are better job prospects, but you need to have credible institutions that you're dealing with. I think that also feeds into the next question, where the Honourable Member of Parliament asked to say, some people will say, no, but I didn't know that actually I was recruiting on behalf of this clandestine organization. I think the right procedure is to involve the relevant agencies. I'm glad that according to the bill, there is the proposal of bringing in the Department of Human Trafficking at Home Affairs. And I think that that should be the department and the committee there that should be used to vet whatever organization is trying to recruit our people to go and work elsewhere. That if those procedures are followed, then it will be much better, because from a government to government arrangement, it will be easier for government to ensure that the government on the other side has done their due diligence, and the people that they are allowing to engage with the Zambian government are credible people. I'll also allow my chief planner and my director to just lend their thoughts on that as well.
Please, sir. Maybe before you do that, we have one member who's just joined us. Please, Honorable, kindly introduce yourself.
Good morning, honorable members, and good morning, you guys from the Ministry of Sports. My name, Honorable Marambo Mwemba, representing the good people of Magoe constituency in Mazabuka district. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please, sir.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I think let me start by saying that I think the object of this bill is commendable, and my understanding is that an amendment entails bettering. Yes, and I've seen that the proposed inclusions in here, I think, will address what might have been amiss. Yes, I think first and foremost, I'm a believer that a piece of legislation which is not ably enforced, I think it creates a lot of doubts in people. And when people see adequate enforcement of a piece of legislation, I think the benefits even goes to issues of justice in the country and many more things. I note that the establishment of a department to be in charge of fighting this vice, I think will address issues of, as I said, contributing to enforcement, the coordination of many stakeholders, and also monitoring. And I think in a way, because in my previous works, I also participated a lot in the drafting of the Children's Code Bill. I think this is also a plus to what we've been fighting for. And this amendment actually amplifies the component of the vice of trafficking of young people. Even now, sport, I think it has been mentioned as a by the way, looking at any other issues incidental to this amendment. I think even in the area of sport, this can also be looked at as one of the emerging environments which can very much contribute to trafficking of young people. The issue of, as my peers said, better prospects out there. I think a lot more young people will be prevented from being abused with the promise of better sporting careers out there. And also, I think what is invisible is these big sports events, I think, which pull sports persons themselves and also spectators and tourists. I think those are environments where the traffickers themselves tend to target and go and pounce on the unsuspecting young people. So to us, this is a plus, Honorable Chair. I think the Honorable Member also asked on knowingly or unknowingly. I'm not so much of a learned person in law, but my understanding is that in the dispensation of justice, there's an element where we tend to say beyond any reasonable doubt. And also the fact that this piece of legislation, I'm sure, will be read in relation with the other piece of legislation. I think the knowingly or unknowingly, it is such that even if it says unknowingly, but if evidence proves that you are in this, then one may not escape, even if it was unknowingly. Yeah, I think it may not protect the perpetrators, even if it says unknowingly. Yeah.
And Chair, I think there's another important issue that the Honorable Member brought up, which I think even when I saw the videos and I saw the pictures of the young girls that have been rescued, that came into my mind to say that these young girls or these victims have been traumatized. They've been 6 months away from their home, and we can only imagine the horrendous things that have happened to them, being raped or being beaten and so on and so forth. So the post-trauma effects in these young people, even if it was an older person, I think is something that needs to be addressed, because I think it has the ability to have significant psychological damage on a person. And so I think that that will be noted, Honorable Member of Parliament, that is something that we should be working alongside Ministry of Health and other institutions, relevant institutions, in ensuring the mental wellness of these young people after experiencing such a traumatic event. So that is noted, sir.
Please, as a ministry, you have all these groups of the young ones going abroad, participating, representing the country in various disciplines. Do you have any deliberate program to sensitize them even as they go out on this very important topic, so that they are able to look after themselves out there, so that they are not tempted to fall prey to mechanisms of being trafficked out whilst they are there. Maybe just a short comment. Thank you.
Chair, honorable members of parliament, as a ministry, one of the mechanisms we have employed to safeguard the well-being of our sportsmen and women and artists, young people, even as they go out, because on several occasions we do send out young people either in sports or youth entrepreneurship programs or arts programs to various countries. Whenever we are involved, we always ensure that we add staff members to the program. And when we have young women, we usually have female mature staff members who accompany them, and also we try to ensure that there's a matron in the sports associations who takes care of the well-being of those young people. I know that there's been a lot of speculation at times, and I'm not saying things have not happened in the past, speculations of young female athletes being sexually abused and so on and so forth. And so we ensure that when we have our staff members, part of what they do is to monitor, to ensure that if there are any issues that these young women are going through, they are there to assist and give a report back to the ministry. So, so far, Chair, from the time that we assumed office till date, we've had no incidents of where it was reported either to our staff members or even one of our athletes reported to relevant investigative authorities of any abuse. So I think that has also helped us, because we have a hand in what they do. When they're out there, they don't go to nightclubs, they don't go to pubs, they don't patronize places. The programs are monitored. If they are going to have a drink, it's in a very secure place where they are there. They monitor them. When they're done, they take them to the hotel till the next day. It's like that from the beginning, from the time they land there to the time they leave that particular country and come back home. So as a ministry, that's what we have done to safeguard the young people's lives. Yes.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, please, let's interact with our witnesses. Honorable Chibuya.
Thank you very much, Chair. PS, from your report, we have noticed, and you have actually come out so vividly, that sportsmen and the youths are actually prone to this vice. My question, therefore, is what do you think sportsmen and the youths in particular are prone to this vice? What is it that government has not done, which we need now to do to protect such vices from happening to our sportsmen and indeed our youths?
Thank you. You may attend to that one, sir.
I think one of the things that the issue is that most of the time these sportsmen and artists are usually vulnerable, in the sense that they don't have finances, and before it would be maybe a person in authority who has a carrot to dangle, then they would be even in a more vulnerable position. Government can do more in terms of sensitizing the masses, but we have also done a lot, because one of the things that the ministry does is that when it comes to per diems or allowances of athletes, they are not paid to federations, they are paid to the actual athlete, right into their bank account, and no one else handles their money. So it takes away somebody controlling them and saying that, no, if you don't give me this, then I won't give you your money. That element is taken away. And so that has helped them. The more we empower young people and take them from a place of being vulnerable in terms of poverty, I think the more we'll aid the situation.
Please, any further comment? Please.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, Honorable Chair, that's why we keep commending this amendment, because it's about what we need to scale up, which we might have been doing, in addition to what the PS has said. We, as the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Art, we are also working with a statutory body under the PS's office, the National Sports Council. So the National Sports Council also does work to prevent would-be abuse of the sports persons. One, in that it registers credible sports associations. So it means if that credible sports association is to participate in anything and involve young people, I think it will come maybe with 75% endorsement that these young people are safe because it's certified by the National Sports Council. Even the hosting of non-governmental international events, maybe by basketball, motor rally, the Sports Council also comes in on behalf of the PS to ensure that those events are legal and recognized and that they are not fake. Even the people who are agents in handling sports persons, be they footballers, basketballers, all that has a link to the National Sports Council in its works of ensuring that things are done according to the law. And additionally, other than the National Sports Council, I think we also have the Boxing and Wrestling Control Board, I think, which is a statutory body under the PS's office, which is also assisting in ensuring that young people who are engaged in either boxing or wrestling are taken through looking at what is expected according to our laws. And interestingly, Honorable Chair, the creation of the Department of Anti-Human Trafficking and the committees which will be under that department, I think we are hopeful that at the point of constituting the committee, they should be looking for umbrella entities. If it's an umbrella body dealing with children, it be part of National Youth Development Council, National Sports Council, because these entities speak for many out there within the sovereign state of Zambia. So this amendment, Honorable Chair, is a plus on what we are already doing with the guidance of the PS. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, I will allow 2 more questions due to time. I note Honorable Mlaliki and Honorable Malam. We'll squeeze in Honorable Lazo also. Oh, okay. The last 2. Thank you. Honorable Mlaliki.
Thank you very much, Chair. Firstly, I would like to commend the Ministry of Youth and Sport for the various empowerment programs that you are undertaking in the country. The likes of sporting equipment, the recent distribution of tankers, and so on and so forth. But then, there's one thing I'm looking at. From your submission, you are the ministry mandated to handle this particular age group of 15 to 35. And apparently, this is the same age group which is targeted by the human traffickers. Now, going by what is submitted on page 2, the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Arts supports the enactment of the amendment
of the Anti-Human Trafficking Bill, National Assembly Bill number 16 of 2022, Section 3A 1, provides for any person who recruits, transports, transfers, harbors, receives, or obtains a child. I'll end there. I note that the definition of a child is not up to the age of 35. It's below the age of 35, which means in this case, if a person that is transported or recruited is above the age of what is defined as a child, will not then be punishable. My thinking was, from your end, you would encompass everyone in your bracket and not limiting it to the child only. I don't know how you look at that, so that instead of it being limited to a child, it should be able to encompass everyone in your age group. I submit, Chair.
The PS, maybe we can also listen from Honorable Malambo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want PS also to congratulate you for these medals that have just been received in the country related to the sporting activities that you have ably competed in. Yesterday we were celebrating another victory from somewhere. This is good leadership. Thank you very much. But I want to put a point on page number 3, bread point from the bottom, number 2. My question is almost near to my colleague. Section 7, clause 1C, provides that any person that knowingly advertise, publish, print, broadcast, distribute, or cause the advertisement. Let me not just go further on this part. I have a concern here. I don't know how much we shall sensitize our use on the usage of social media in relation to the TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApping, and other things. As you might be aware that the age grouping that we are looking at is the age that is highly addictive to the social media. And at the end of the day, they take a lot of photos when they are in good terms, but the moment they break up, you find that it becomes something else. Are they not going to take advantage of this law to start caging each other the moment they start leaving each other in the process? So how much are we going to sensitize our youths to ensure that they don't come in conflict with this law? Thank you.
The PS, please, we might take up those two.
Thank you so much, Chair. I'll also allow my chief planner to come in at some point. In reference to honorable member's observation, I do agree with him over section 3A that it can be enhanced. I do know that at the bottom of it, it does actually encompass us, because it says section 3A provides for any person who recruits, transports, transfers, harbors, receives, or obtains a child. There, that's true. Maybe we could do it if it says a child and youth, it would be better. But it continues and says, within or across the territorial boundaries of Zambia for the purpose of exploitation, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to imprisonment for a term not less than 30 years and may be liable to imprisonment or life. In this regard, the bill will strengthen the implementation of the child programs through enforcement of laws that promote and protect rights of youth and women, especially children. Perhaps there that can be added so that it's not limiting in terms of our demography as a ministry. Because you're right, when we say child, then it's community development and child protection. It's no longer our mandate. But for it to be part of our mandate, it must reflect that. So, sir, it's well noted. It should be there.
Take a note of the submission from
Should be there.
Yes. Please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And then the second question, Chair, it's a very difficult one. I have 5 children and 4 of them are teenagers. And so this animal called social media is a tool that a lot of traffickers are using to hoodwink majority of our young people. And so there is a definite need that the Department of Human Trafficking and Home Affairs must work very closely with Smart Zambia to ensure that we have cyber security. It's amazing. We just talked about TikTok and all that. I'm told there are even dating sites where you just find a partner there, whatever kind of partners, you find them right there, and you can meet the same night. So it's very dangerous. So there's no way we can effectively combat the element of human trafficking in this country and ignore social media, because it's the key driver to the communication, the transactions, and all that. And so there's need for regulation in terms of what young people can access or what social media groupings can be out there. We're not trying to take away freedoms because it's a democracy, but also if there's a way to vet some of these sites, to vet some of these places. Chair, you travel to places like South Korea, you find that they don't have certain things on their social media. They don't have pornography, which is for us here it's readily available, and yet we are a Christian nation. So we're not saying that we should curtail our freedoms, but there should be a way we must protect our young people from the dangers of social media. So I wouldn't agree more with the Honourable Member of Parliament that as we go forward, the department must have a unit in it that addresses matters of social media and cybersecurity. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, sir. Even as we wind up, I note there's one member who has joined us. Please introduce yourself to our witnesses.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, PS and team. My name is Philemon Twasa, Member of Parliament for Kasanengwa constituency in Eastern Province. Thank you.
There's one last one, which I will allow from Honorable Lazo.
Thank you so much. Through you, Chair, I wanted to find out, PS, I mean, looking apart from the sensitization that you are going to do as a ministry, we know clearly that young people are falling prey to human trafficking because they don't have access to employment. So I wanted to find out, as a ministry, what programs you have lined up for young people, apart from the empowerment of tankers that we see. What else do you have lined up for the young people? Thank you.
Okay.
Just a correction, Chair.
I think the honourable members are primed now. Please.
Sorry. It's just a correction, I think, on page 3, where the bullet number, first bullet, where the imprisonment may be reliable to imprisonment. There is or life. I feel there's supposed to be a different word there. Reliable to imprisonment for life, not or life. Yeah.
Okay. Please, you may attend to Honorable Lazo's intervention.
Thank you, Honorable Lazo. Yes, Chair. I think our ministry has been known in terms of youth empowerment over the tankers. But apart from fuel tankers, the mandate that your ministry has is a threefold mandate. Basically, ours is to educate, to employ, and to empower the youth through entrepreneurship. So one of the ways we educate, we know that the core mandate is Ministry of Education, but one of the ways we educate our young people is that we've got about 23 youth resource centers that are dotted around the country. And in these youth resource centers, we offer skills training such as tailoring, catering, bricklaying, metal fabrication, and so on and so forth. We have graduates. I think this year we've had graduates to the tune of about 3,000 young people that have graduated from our youth resource centers. Apart from that, we also have what we call the graduation support program, where we give graduation kits to the young people that graduate from our youth resource centers. So if a young person graduates in metal fabrication, we give them a welding machine. If one graduates maybe from tailoring, we give them a sewing machine. And I think, as you saw, we were doing that on the Copper Belt. Apart from that, we've also got the Resettlement Scheme, where young people, of course, we need to work more on that one, because not too many young people are interested in going farming. But we have land dotted around the country where these young people can be resettled there, given a startup capital to do fish farming, and they can make something of themselves. Apart from that, we've also got the General Empowerment Program, where young people come up with vibrant ideas. For instance, he wants to start a taxi and do Lendo, the new one. What's the new one? Do Yango. So we lend them money to get a vehicle or two, and then they start to do the business and they pay back the ministry. So those are some of the programs that we have at the ministry for our young people. Of course, my director of sport also wants to add his thoughts.
Please, briefly.
Thank you very much, Chair. I think the other approach we are employing in NS now is making a business case out of sport. We also want Zambians to know that sport, yes, is about being healthy, but sport can also be a career, a lucrative career. I think we all witnessed Muzala, Chinyemba, and all those medalists, the chess players. I think to mention the incentives which went to them is but just one component. That is changing their lives. Even and we are grateful that honorable members supported our minister with our PS to make available that money for sports equipment. That money, Honorable Chair, the sports equipment will not just be seen as sports kit, but it's part of a bigger empowerment of young people through sport initiative. We want to identify talent. We want to strengthen structures. We want young people to come forth. We want many more Muzalas, many more Chinyembas, and that way sport will also be an opportunity for a better livelihood for Zambians, as we have seen in the recent past, where the young people have been reaping medals. Thank you very much.
Well, I just want to thank the Permanent Secretary and indeed the entire team for a very good interaction this morning. This is the spirit in which we should definitely work. I think we are all for one purpose, to build our country. So we want to thank you most sincerely. But even as I switch
At this moment, we request honorable members make submissions. Afterwards, we request you witness to make introductions and move straight into submission.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, witness. I'm Honorable Christopher Shakafuswa, the Member of Parliament for Mandev constituency here in Lusaka District. And you actually happen to be in Mandev constituency. So you are welcome to Parliament and welcome to the Cabinet Affairs Committee. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, witness. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency in Southern Province.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Kalila, Member of Parliament for Lukulu in Western Province. You're very welcome. Thank you.
Morning, Chair, and good morning, witness. My name is Elias Makasamsonda, Member of Parliament for Chimbamilonga constituency in Northern Province. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, witness. My name is Darius Kunda, coming from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly. Thank you.
Good morning once more, witness. My name is Lubusha Andrew. I'm Member of Parliament for Chipangali constituency and the Chairman of this Cabinet Affairs Committee. Once more, you are welcome, Madam, and your team. Please kindly note that when a parliamentary committee is sitting, it is sitting as a miniature parliament, and because of this, when you appear before a committee, the same immunities that are enjoyed by honorable members of parliament are extended to you, as stated in the National Assembly Powers and Privileges, Cap 12 of the Laws of Zambia, as amended by Act number 13 of 2016, and in the standing orders. Therefore, whatever you submit to this committee is protected and cannot be used against you in any court of law or anywhere else. However, you are urged to be as truthful as possible, because if you choose to deliberately mislead the committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. However, the committee is of the view that you cannot choose to deliberately mislead it. Therefore, it urges you to feel free as possible as you make your submission. You can kindly proceed with the introduction and the submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Members. My name is Margaret Nambulumiawa, PS for the Public Service Management Division of Cabinet Office. And Chairperson, allow me to request my colleagues to introduce themselves, starting with the Director in charge of Technical Services.
Good morning, Chair. Felix Mushavati, Director, Technical Services Department under the Public Service Management Division.
Good morning, Chair and honorable members of Parliament of the committee. My name is Aluwani Soko, Director, Human Resource Information and Planning at Public Service Management Division.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members of Parliament. My name is Morgan Chunga. I'm Acting Director, Human Resource and Administration at PSMD.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members of Parliament. My name is Charles Daka. I'm an Assistant Director under the Department of Human Resource Development at Public Service Management Division.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, members of Parliament. My name is Boniface Chigantu, Administrative Officer, PSMD.
Thank you so much. PS, you may kindly proceed to make the submission.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, I wish to thank you, sir, for giving us an opportunity to appear before this Honorable Committee to make our submissions on the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill. As you may be aware, the Public Service Management Division falls under the Office of the President and is charged with the responsibility of human resource management and development in the public service. Sir, the portfolio functions for the division include public service management, human resources management and development, and strategic and performance management services. Honorable Chairperson, We have noted that the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill of 2022 seeks to, among other reasons, replace the Professional Secretaries Association of Zambia. Sir, the Professional Secretaries Association of Zambia, which was formed in 1994 and registered under the Societies Act, has never had a law to regulate the conduct of the professional secretaries. Sir, the regulation of the professional secretaries, therefore, has been left solely to the respective employers. Honorable Chairperson, we are cognizant of the fact that the role of the secretaries over the years has evolved from copy typists and such routine assignments to handling confidential information and office management. It is therefore our considered view that this bill has been introduced at an appropriate time. Honorable Chairperson, the proposed Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill of 2022 aims to A, set and enforce professional standards of the secretarial profession, B, provide continuous professional development programs to the members, C, promote the integrity and enhance the status of the secretarial profession, D, develop, promote, and enforce internationally comparable practice standards in the Republic with respect to the secretarial profession, E, participate in the activities of the bodies whose main purpose is the development and setting of practice standards for the secretarial profession, F, encourage and finance research into and any matter affecting professional secretaries, and G, collaborate with higher education institutions, government departments, and other institutions to improve the quality of secretarial services. Honorable Chairperson, the bill has also provided for the registration of the professional secretaries at all levels. This will enable the Institute to keep track of its members, in addition to ensuring prohibition for practicing without a valid license.
Chair, sorry, we are unable to follow. I think we have a different document submission altogether.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mlunda. Todd, that's a speech, and then we've got the submission. How many copies of a speech do we have? Can they be enough for honorable members? You may kindly proceed with your submission, witness.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Honorable Chairperson, the bill has also provided for the registration of professional secretaries at all levels. This will enable the Institute to keep track of its members, in addition to ensuring prohibition for practicing without a valid license. Further, the bill will ensure that only qualified and registered secretaries are employed as compared to the current situation where membership to the association is not a determining factor. Sir, it is therefore our considered view that membership to the Institute should not be optional and voluntary, but legally mandatory. This means all secretaries should legally be compelled to abide by the prescribed requisites and should have valid practicing license duly issued by the Institute. Chairperson, the proposed Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill of 2022 also aims to constitute the Council of the Institute and provide for its functions. This is vital to the operations of the Institute, as it will allow for the approval of policies, programs, and strategies of the Institute, Additionally, the Council will ensure non-elective staff are recruited at Secretariat level to ensure efficient operations, which is a must if the Institute is to be impactful. Honorable Chairperson, the bill also provides for handling of disciplinary matters by the Institute, which may include professional misconduct, contravening the provisions of this bill, or engaging in conduct that is dishonest or fraudulent. This will enhance discipline and compliance to the Code of Ethics provided for in the bill. Honorable Chairperson, the Institute, once in place, should prioritize enforcement mechanisms to ensure the law is adhered to by practitioners. The Institute should also ensure that there is continuous provision of professional training to practitioners to make them more responsive to emerging secretarial issues locally and globally. Sir, further, there is need to make membership fees affordable and to develop a mechanism of collecting the same from practitioners. To this end, sir, it is our considered view that the Institute shall also prioritize sensitizing members on the importance of belonging to the Institute and abiding by the attendant ethics. Honorable Chairperson, with regards to financing and member contributions, the division is ready to issue a deduction code to the Institute so that serving secretaries in the civil service can pay for affiliation through the payroll in installments. It must also be noted that the civil service, being the largest employer in the country, also has the highest number of secretaries. Sir, this being the case, there will be need for enhanced collaboration between the Public Service Management Division and the Institute. Honorable Chairperson, the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill of 2022 is highly welcome, provided that the highlighted concerns in our written submission are addressed. Additionally, the division is a strategic partner to the Institute, and once the bill is enacted, the division will contribute in ensuring its success. Chairperson, allow me once again to thank you for according me and my team an opportunity to appear before this honorable committee, sir, to make our considered submissions on this important bill. Honorable Chairperson, I submit.
Thank you so much, PS, for that elaborate submission. At this juncture, kindly allow me to request one of our honorable members who has joined us, and my sincere apologies to Honorable Reverend Given Katuta. We forgot that one of our members is participating virtually, so we'll request her to introduce herself after Honorable Klazo.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, PS and your team. My name is Klazo Sipo, Member of Parliament for Chilanga constituency.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, witness. I'm Reverend Given Katuta Mwirwa, and I represent the good people of Chiengi in Wapla Province on the board of GRC in Zambia. You're welcome, witness, and thank you once again, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Given Katuta, and I'm sure you're very happy that the delegation leader is female. I can see you smiling. Okay.
It's like you've seen my face. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reverend. At this moment, we will open up to your support staff. If there is anyone with anything to add on, you can kindly feel free to add on top of what the PS has submitted. Any person? Okay, thank you so much. Honorable members, it's time for questions. Honorable Msonda.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, witness. I'll raise 3 issues where I need your comments. The first one is, in your submission, you are saying the membership fees should be affordable. In your view, what do you think would be an affordable membership fee? Secondly, one of the witnesses who has appeared before us indicated that naming this organization as an institute connotes that it will be providing training, that it should have been just named as a council. What is your comment on that view? Thirdly, the proposed bill is talking about terms of office for the Professional Conduct Committee being 2 years, whereas for the Disciplinary Committee, it is 3 years. Yet, both of these committees are a creation of the council. What is your comment on this disparity in terms of the term of office? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Msonda. Allow us to give an opportunity to our other honorable member who has just joined us to introduce himself. Apologies, witness. We have series of committee meetings going on. That's why you are seeing members keeping joining us. We are trying to balance and ensure that the columns are formed in all the committee meetings. Honorable Mandandi.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning once more, Chair and dear honorable members, and good morning, witness. I'm Mandandi Kalia, Member of Parliament for Sioma constituency in Western Province. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Witness, you may proceed to respond, and feel free if you would like to request any of your support staff to respond to any of the questions, you are free to do so, PS.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. I request that you allow me to ask my director in charge of technical services to respond to the questions.
Thank you, PS. From loud enough. To answer the first two questions that have been laid on the table, Chair, calling the institute as a council as opposed to an institute because of the training factor in it. PSMD views that the nature of these institutes, professional institutes, are there to provide technical assistance and also development in terms of career progression and also skill set. So as much as they are promoting the professional aspect of things, they are also looking into the aspect of developing the cadre or the members of this institute. So when you using the term institute is more broad focused than calling it a council, which could be narrow in terms of focus. In terms of the tenure of office, why should the committee has a longer tenure than the members of the council? The division looked at this, and the view is that this provides for continuity as well as the institutional memory. If we have a situation where the committee as well as the council vacate office at the same time, it might erode that smooth transition into the operations of the new members. So to provide for that smooth transition, thought maybe that is the justification for this provision. Submit, Chair.
Thank you so much, Director. I think the questions were 3, and I'm sure PS is still sharing them amongst yourselves.
On the fees, Chair, we are looking at the secretarial cadre, we look at the emoluments, and we look at what could be rationally be reasonable. 1,000 around that level would be rational. Submit.
Thank you, Director. Any more questions, honorable members? Yes, Honorable Shaka Foswa.
Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to ask a question to the witness. I would like to be consistent with my observation and that of other witnesses on part 5 of the bill and part 6 on the disciplinary committee, which has been given powers in this bill as that of the court. Yet the bill is not explicit to state at what level this court is. And also, if you look at part 6, where it provides for inspectors, if you look at the duties and functions of the inspectors, they've been given powers as that of law enforcement officers. Isn't this ultra-virus? What would be your comment, PS?
Thank you so much, Honorable Shaka Foswa. You may proceed to respond, witness.
Perhaps the division can seek clarification on part 5 in reference to the council being, the disciplinary committee being a court. Chair.
Okay. So I can just take you to part 5, section 37. One second. Part 5, section 42:30, and subsection number 3. This is on page 23. And it reads, a person qualifies to be appointed as chairperson of the disciplinary committee if that person is a legal practitioner qualified to hold or has held high judicial office. And also, I'm not just able to pinpoint, but the proceedings of the disciplinary committee have been referred as judicial proceedings, and these equate to a court. But it's not explicit as to what level of the court this will be. And also, if you look at the appealing process, I note in your submission, I think there's a submission, I think the last submission, where you are saying a person aggrieved with a decision of the disciplinary committee may appeal to the High Court. And there you are making a proposal that a person aggrieved with a decision of the disciplinary committee appeals to the minister prior to appealing to the High Court to reduce on court cases.
Honorable Katuta, any question? You may proceed to respond, witness.
Chair, we appreciate the question and it's very valid. Perhaps, Chair, the division should have first started into going into the salient issues of the bill, where it has concerns on, and maybe this question would have come up equally. Because in relation to the question that the Honourable Member has raised, when you look at section 37, there's Professional Conduct Committee, which this bill proposes to have, as well as section 42, which has a disciplinary committee. In our understanding, this would be one and the same committee because they are looking into the conduct of these people who are their members. So in terms of fine-tuning this document, these are some of the issues that the initiators are supposed to harmonize. In relation to this person, the chairperson, we noticed that, say, under the Professional Conduct Committee, there's provision for a legal practitioner nominated by the Law of Session of Zambia to be part of this Professional Conduct Committee. But if this discipline committee is different from the Professional Conduct Committee, then it leaves a disjoint on how this person is stated here is different from the one stated under 37(1)(b). So these are some of the submissions that the division would like to make in terms of fine-tuning of the documentation and harmonizing some of these committees, Chair.
Thank you so much, Director.
Then, sorry, Chair, perhaps the question that was left out. The question in terms of the appeal to the court, that should be under 52. In our submission, there is a reference to 52(3), which states a person aggrieved with the decision of the disciplinary committee may appeal to the High Court. I think that was an oversight on our part, Chair, because 52 provides for the appeals procedure, and it starts with the minister. If the person is not satisfied with the decision of the minister, they can appeal to the High Court. Perhaps the two stages were not looked at in detail, Chair, and we apologize for that omission.
Thank you so much, witness. Well noted. Any more additions? PS and your support staff, anything to add on?
Honorable Chairperson, allow me to ask the Director of Human Resource and Administration just to run the committee through the comments that we have made. That are reflected in the matrix.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, PS. Honorable Chair, in our written submission, I'll ask you to check page 2 of our written submission. That's excluding the cover page. We have highlighted the concerns in addition to what Director Technical Services mentioned. There are some other concerns which we thought that the initiators may address before the bill goes any further. And the first one is from part 23, where the provision in the bill states that the institute may, before cancelling the registration of professional secretary, suspend the professional secretary for a specified period and on terms and conditions that the council may determine. So our observation here is that we propose that the employer be notified of the suspension of the secretary and the conditions of the suspension where possible for planning purposes, among other reasons. On 31, where the bill provides that the institute may, where a holder of a practicing certificate does not intend to practice for a specified period of time, maintain the name of the holder of the practicing certificate on the register in non-practicing category for that period of time. We are proposing that there is need for clarity whether non-practicing secretaries will be required to make any payment for them to be maintained on the non-practicing register. And on 3, the institute shall develop and publish code of ethics for professional secretaries that shall bind all professional secretaries regulated under this act. Our observation is that the bill should state how the code of ethics for professional secretaries will relate with codes of ethics in various workplaces. 37.1, I think this one was touched on when Director Technical Services was responding to the question from Honorable Shakafuso. And number 6, we had made this observation, but it's been covered by Director Technical Services as well, that the bill has provided actually for the aggrieved member to go through the minister. On number 7, Honorable Chair, for the avoidance of doubt, A person who, before the commencement of this act, was an employee of the former association shall continue to be an employee of the institute as if employed under this act. So our observation here is that it is proposed that a provision be made on what would apply in the event that some employees opt not to continue in employment following the enactment of this act. And finally, on the renewal of certificates for non-practicing secretaries, this is basically also speaking to the same point, where our observation is that there is need to clarify if non-practicing secretaries will be required to renew their certificates or pay in arrears at a point of renewing certificates, as is the case in some other institutes.
Honorable Chairperson, can I ask Director Technical Services just to wrap up? Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, PS.
Chair, the division made a few other observations on the bill. They are not in the written submission. We have the hope that we'll meet the initiators and iron out some of these issues before they are brought to this table. But because we are here, we might as well issue them, and if the regulations permit, we can make our written submissions on the things that I'm about to say at a later time. Permission to proceed, Chair.
You may proceed, Director.
Thank you, Chair. We had a concern on Part 8. Just need to tie up the loose ends 8.2G. In terms of the composition of this council, it says 3 other professional members. We're left to wondering as to whether these professional members are within this act or any professional member from any other body. If it is the desire of the institution to incorporate members from other professional bodies, it to be clear, or if it is the intention that it's only members within this institute, it can be made clear. Under 8.3a, this is a provision where there are disqualifiers for a person not to be elected as a council member. The 3A says found guilty of professional misconduct under this act. We're wondering as to whether if someone is found guilty under any other act, any legal provision, they can still be members. The only disqualifier is this act. I think the A and the B speaks to the same. Convicted for an offense under this act. There are other acts under which offenses might be created. So are they overlooking those other provisions? Then, Chair, I'll draw the committee to page 14 on the certificate of registration. Under 15.1, there's a provision for issuance of the certificate of registration. When you go to 23.1, there's a provision for issuance of practicing certificate. There might be need to harmonize this, whether this is one and the same, or there are different documents that are issued in this regard. Still on page 3, Chair, I think section 16, 19, and 26 seems ought to be talking about withdrawing recognition of a member, but they are in three different provisions. Perhaps these can be reconciled so that everything to do with circumstances under which an officer or a member might be disqualified or suspended flowing in that regard. Because we noticed there could be repetitions there. On page 16, 24, we are quite uncomfortable with that provision, Chair. A holder of a practice certificate shall display the practice certificate in a conspicuous place at the place of practice. It means our government offices will be full of these certificates. And I think we have regulations under which certain documents have to be displayed in official public places. So this provision is not sitting well with the division, Chair. Then I highlighted the issue of should I draw the committee to section page 19? Sections 33 and 34. Section 33 creates offenses under this proposed act. Section 35 also is highlighting some offenses. So these will need to be reconciled. Chair, I had highlighted Section 37, which provides for the creation of the Professional Conduct Committee, against Section 42, which provides for a disciplinary committee. There might be need to make a distinction, clear distinction, if at all these committees are distinct. And in the same vein, the provision of 42.3, providing for this chairperson to hold, to be eligible to hold judicial office, vis-a-vis the 37, which provides for simply a member of the Law Association of Zambia. I think there's a mismatch there. Yes, Section 43.2 on page 25, Chair. I think the division is not very comfortable with this provision that a person who is found guilty under this provision, under this act for professional misconduct, may have their name published. You don't see the justification for this. It might border on human rights and infringement of people's rights. The other provision is 41. 41D on page 23, Chair. It states, order the professional secretary to pay to the institute or to any other party to the hearing any cost of or incidental to the proceedings. The division understanding of this is that where a disciplinary committee is constituted and there are some people that have attended or presiding over this disciplinary committee and they've incurred costs, the person before the disciplinary committee may be made to incur the cost of these people, the composition of the who compose the disciplinary committee. So that provision is not sitting well with the division as well, Chair. Through the PS, I submit.
Thank you so much, Director. Yes, PS.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Thank you, Honorable Members. When we were preparing the submission, we thought there was no need for us to include some of these issues, which we had invited the Institute to come and it was the association to come and sit with us so that we understand in detail what they meant. But since the meeting did not materialize, we're humbled that you allowed us to bring these matters to your attention.
Thank you so much, PS. We are extremely grateful as a committee for that elaborate submission. We'll give Honorable Shakafuswa an opportunity to ask the last question, then we wind up.
Thank you, Chair. It's not necessarily a last question, but in line, I think, with their submission at page 23, section 41D, and I wish to draw you to section 45, subsection 5. I think this is where I had a problem, where it reads that a hearing before the disciplinary committee shall, for the purposes of Chapter 11 of the Penal Code, be deemed to be a judicial proceeding. And they are not saying which court this will be equating to. And I think this is where now you also have a problem at 41D, because then it means that there will be representation by lawyers. It will be a fully fledged court, but it's not saying which court this will be. I thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Shakafuswa. Once more, PS, we are extremely grateful that you found time out of your busy schedule to come and physically attend to this very important meeting. And PS, allow me to request you to kindly help us with the submission of the additional information that the Director just raised. Those are very, very important points which we need to look at. We also take note of your conclusion, where you have indicated that you are in full support of this, and especially if your highlighted points are looked into. Once more, thank you so much, and we wish you God's blessings. But before you leave, allow this committee to withdraw the immunity that was given to you at the beginning of the meeting. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, and we shall indeed make an additional submission to the observations that we've made through our Director of Technical Services. We thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, PS.
This month, we're cooking up a storm. King Katumba spices it up as he sets his sights on the villages of Ubuntu. Then, secrets and hidden agendas are a melting pot for chaos in Pali. And we join our favorite hostesses who stir up a blend of exciting conversations. Then Sita's marriage ambition leaves everyone a little steamed. And music legends serve up their most exciting memories in music. And the royal clique turns up the heat and fires up the industry. We've got the recipe for the best local entertainment on Zambezi Magic. Channel 162 on DSTV, Channel 5 on GoTV. If you've ever needed a reason to add movies to your subscription, how about 3?
Gotta get the job done. The whole squad coming through. You can't believe what you see. I'm doing me, move to my own beat.
Add Movies has got you sorted.
Ready?
Mnet Movies 1 has got something for everyone to enjoy. From comedies to dramas, larger-than-life blockbusters, and everyone's favorite superhero.
Hello, Peter.
Mnet Movies 2 non-stop thrill ride of nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat, can't get enough action.
I got you. Don't worry about it.
Mnet Movies 3 brings you your favorite stars up close and personal.
I do so love perfect timing.
And for the kids,
Poke it up, poke it up, poke it up, Afro!
get yourself Ad Movies for the whole month.
You might want to hop in.
It's your movie moment with DSTV.
Wait is over!
present to introduce themselves.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, witness. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Mulunda Darius, a Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency in Southern Province. Thank you so much, Chair. And good morning once more, Chair and the dear Honorable colleagues. Good morning, witness. I'm Mandandi Kalie, Member of Parliament for Sioma constituency in Western Province. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, witness. My name is Ahlazo Sipo, Member of Parliament for Chilanga.
Thank you so much. Our witness this morning coming from the Executive and Personal Assistance Association of Zambia. You are welcome. And before you introduce yourselves, perhaps let me introduce myself. I'm Honorable Christopher Shakafuswa, the Member of Parliament for Mandev constituency, the host of the parliamentary buildings. You are welcome. Honorable Katuta, are you there? Kindly introduce yourself. Okay. Kindly take note that one of the members, the Member of Parliament for Chiengi, is attending virtually. Perhaps I'll call on her again to introduce herself. Before you make your submission and introduction, on behalf of the committee, I wish to confer you with immunity. Kindly note that when a parliamentary committee is sitting, it is a sitting as a miniature parliament. Because of this, when you appear before a committee, the same immunities that are enjoyed by honorable members of parliament are extended to yourselves, as stated in the National Assembly Powers and Privileges, Cap 12 of the Laws of Zambia, as amended by Act Number 13 of 2016, and in the standing orders. Therefore, whatever you submit to this committee is protected and cannot be used against you in any court of the law or anywhere else. However, you are urged to be as truthful as possible, because if you choose to deliberately mislead the committee, the same Cap 12 can be used against you. However, the committee is of the view that you cannot choose to deliberately mislead it, and you should be, therefore, feel free as you submit. So, feel free, you have immunity, and for today, I'm sitting in for the chair. I'm just an ordinary member of the committee. So, you're welcome, and please introduce yourself and your delegation, and thereafter, feel free to submit.
Good morning, everyone, and honorable members of parliament. My name is Ethel Mavo Chikoveni from Executive and Personal Assistance Association of Zambia, and I'm standing in for the president, so I'm a proxy president for today. Thank you. The rest will introduce themselves. Thank you.
Good morning, members of parliament. Good morning, everyone. I'm sitting here as a board member for EPAS. My names are Perry Mwetwa Sakungo.
Good morning, members of parliament. My names are Olivia Chishikambewe, board member, EPAS.
Thank you so much. You may proceed to make your submission.
The memoranda on the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill, NAB number 18, 2022, presented to the Committee on Cabinet Affairs by the Executive and Personal Assistance Association of Zambia. The Executive and Personal Assistance Association of Zambia is an association established and registered under the Register of Societies Act Chapter 119 of the Laws of Zambia, whose certificate of registration was issued on the 28th of December 2017 and has its principal office at 4th floor, room 407, Kulima Tower Building, Katunjila Road, Lusaka. The association has a membership of 550 as registered members and came into operation on 1st January 2018. EPAS is an association for administrative officers, hospital administrators, and executive officers governed by a constitution. It is a platform that seeks to promote continuous professional development for its members for them to attain higher qualifications through continuous capacity building, training, education, exclusive events, networking with like-minded associations, individuals, dedicated mentors, and lesson sharing and leadership training opportunities to promote the objectives of the association. The mission of a PAS is to awaken the leader within each and every member at workplaces. The vision of a PAS is to provide capacity building and personal career development for the association membership in order to increase productivity and efficiency and providing corporate social responsibilities to the Republic of Zambia. The objectives of the association are to create a monumental shift in the administrative officer, hospital administrator, and executive officer's profession in Zambia, to establish and maintain liaison or cooperation with other national and international organizations and represent the profession at national and international fora, to provide professional advice to government and other stakeholders on both policy and non-policy matters affecting the profession of administrative officers, hospital administrators, and executive officers, to empower its members with financial literacy and investment education through trainings and capacity building programs, to promote networking among other member associations through the country in order to foster enactment of an Act of Parliament for the association, to commemorate the Administrative Professionals' Day in April of each year like the rest of the world, and to carry out corporate social responsibilities in the Republic by helping out through donations to correctional centers, orphanages, and villages where there are girls and boys who are less privileged and would wish to go to school. From the foregoing, the following is our submission on the ramifications of the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill, NAB number 18, 2022. The bill seeks to provide the existence of the Professional Secretaries Association of Zambia and redefine its powers and functions, provide and enhance the secretarial profession, to provide for the registration of professional secretaries and regulate their practice and professional conduct. There is therefore need to enact the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Act because currently there is no legal framework governing the Zambia Institute of Secretaries. Additionally, the practice and professional conduct of secretaries is not regulated by law. Clause 2, the specific clauses of the bill, Part 1.
Witness, perhaps maybe you may just go to your submissions, which I've noted is in the conclusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair. Having critically analyzed the clauses of the bill, we, the Executive and Personal Assistants Association of Zambia, have no objection on the ramifications of the Zambia Institute of Secretaries Bill, NAB 18-2022. And our desire is that this law is enacted in order to regulate the conduct and practice of the professional secretaries in the Republic. The association take cognizance of the objects of the bill as highlighted above and support each clause of the bill, save for clause 2, which in the bill is on number 8, clause 30, the definitions. Thus, the association wish to bring to the attention of this honorable committee that some terms in the bill under the definition of professional secretary, such as executive assistant secretary, administrative assistant, and principal executive assistant, are not clear, and seems to suggest that these 3 categories of professional secretaries fall within the cadreship of administrative and executive officers who are expected to affiliate with a PAS and not with professional secretaries. Additionally, the association wishes to state that as a PAS, we are desirous that our profession is also regulated by legislation, and therefore are in the processing of ensuring that our association continues its existence under a piece of legislation. And for this reason, we request that the 3 categories of a professional secretary under the definition highlighted above be revised or completely removed from this bill in order to avoid any conflict which may arise once our bill is enacted. We submit.
Thank you so much, witness, for your elaborate submission. I will now invite honorable members to seek clarifications or ask questions. Honorable Katuta, are you there? Any questions on?
Yes, Chair, I'm here. Chair, I just wanted to find out, I've always been concerned about the issue of...
You introduce yourself first and then you proceed with your question.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Reverend Given Katuta Mwirwa, and I'm a member of this committee. I represent the good people of Chieng in Wapla province. Chair, my question is just about when we look at the whole act, the bill that is coming, there isn't much of protection on our secretaries. So I'd like to find out what will be the other way of protecting them, because they're vulnerable. Secondly, the expiration of the license. There isn't much of talk on expiration of the license. Like we have the teachers, when it expires, you need to renew it. Now, for those who are not working, how will they be helped with this coming bill? I thank you, Chair. I submit.
Witness, you can go ahead and respond.
Chair, I think from the inception of the creation of this bill by the Professional Secretaries Association of Zambia, they did not involve the Executive and Personal Assistants Association of Zambia. We are very happy that we were honored by this committee to invite us to come and raise our concerns with this bill. So for us, we are mainly concerned with the definition on clause number 30, because we feel that these 3 categories are not a secretary we are talking about in this bill, meaning that if this bill was to pass with these positions, it means that it can be conflicting itself. Thank you.
Chair, just a clarification. Just a clarification. From the admission from this professional, what's this executive? What do you call association? Executive what? A PAS, anyway. A PAS. We have realized as well that the professional secretaries, they didn't have the legal framework right from the beginning. And we are meeting a PAS as well without a legal backing or legal framework that regulates them. And like she has rightly put it, that the definition that is coming up now will mean they have to come back and be incorporated, and they are pleased that if right from the beginning, right now, as we take off, they must be on board. But my worry has been, how do these associations come up without a legal framework in the first place? Do we have in your structure the legal officers or legal minds in order to regulate, to help you come up with your association, that you are regulated, you are protected, and things like that? Sure, thank you.
Thank you. Witness, you can go ahead and respond, or you can ask any of the members of your delegation to respond.
Through the chairperson, in our introduction, we mentioned that our association is registered by Registrar of Societies, giving us the mandate to operate and to carry out the objectives of the association. Therefore, in our constitution, we have a legal officer who advises the association. And therefore, we mentioned that this association has got a plan, and it has started the process of it being enacted by an act of parliament. Thank you.
You have a rider?
Rider.
Yes, Honorable Mlunda.
I don't understand. Maybe I need to be the registrar. Not that these the witness are at fault, but I'm trying to understand how the registrar of society, whatever, would admit the registration of an institution or association without the complete legal framework. Because I remember articles of association. When you are forming something, some companies, you need the articles of association that will actually clearly state how that thing is going to operate. But here's an association. Maybe, do we have them as witness, registrar of society? Are they coming before us?
Yeah, so the registrar of society already appeared.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I missed them. But what I wanted to find out is, I think it's very important that from the inception, people have the legal backing and people have all the documents, other than, you start processing the guidelines or whatever you're going to put as legal framework after we have been informed. It's like an egg and a chick. So which one should come first? Anyway, that's a comment. I think they will not answer it, but I wish I met the registrar of societies, because the framework and everything, now they are seeking to be part of this bill, which is very important and good.
So, witness, that was a comment. Do we have any more questions, honorable members? Yes, Honorable Mandandi.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Perhaps maybe I'm confused. I need to be guided. My honorable colleague here is saying this association is seeking to be members of this, and yet in their submission here, they are explicitly putting it to say they don't want to be part of this. Which one of the two, before I pose my question?
Witness, please go
Through
ahead.
the chair, maybe we are not getting your question correctly. You are saying we are refusing to be part of the bill?
From the submission, you have said you have no problem with the bill, but you have a problem with clause 2, and which is the definition where it's in conflict with your association.
Just a minute. These people in clause 2, what their problem is that the definition does not include the association. Is that so?
It includes the
Through the chair, maybe let me try to elaborate further. Maybe you are seeing the name of the association, which is Executive and Personal Assistance Association of Zambia. And to you, maybe somehow you are thinking this association and the secretaries, it's one and the same. It's not one and the same. Yes, it's so when this association EPAS was formed for the administrative officers, the executive officers, hospital administrators, through the chair, these positions, they are not secretaries at all. And EPAS, these are their members. According to this definition of a professional secretary, a secretary is a person who has shorthand and typing. An administrative officer or executive officer or the hospital administrators, they don't have any shorthand, any typing at all. We incorporated the secretaries because most of the trainings that we have, we would send letters, we would invite them. Our association does not only look at the ethics and the conducts, but also delve into the ingredient of proper training, which the association is doing. So our concern is about this principal executive assistant. This principal executive assistants provide direct supervision to clerical, at times even the secretaries we are talking about in this bill, and the other administrative support staff. This is a principal executive assistant. And this person works with a high degree of independence. A secretary we are talking about in this bill is do as directed. And this principal executive assistant exercises discretion in the resolution of complex and sensitive problems in an organization and institution. When you talk of an administrative assistant, we have mentioned 3 categories which have been depicted from this clause 30 of a professional secretary. That's our main concern. This administrative assistant is responsible for supporting administrative professional to help them stay organized and complete tasks. So you'll find that the administrative assistant at times will not even have the qualification of a shorthand and typing, because a professional secretary in this bill is a secretary who has got shorthand and typewriting. So even when you do a diploma or you do a degree in secretarial, you should have the typing. In secretarial, this professional secretary, without shorthand, you are not a secretary.
Before I call upon Honorable Mulunda, I wish to step down. The chair is now in. Perhaps, Chair, you can come and assume your chair.
Good morning, witness. Kindly allow me to introduce myself. My name is Lubusha Andrew, Member of Parliament for Chipangali constituents and the Chairman of this Cabinet Affairs Committee. Apologies for joining you a little bit late. We have a number of committees that are in session. So I was in a committee where all committee chairpersons have been meeting to analyze the budget and so on. Honorable Mulunda, you may proceed.
Thank you. EPAS, having explained these different categories of professionals that we have here, I want you to elaborate your position towards the bill, and in particular, clause 30, where you said the definition. And I want to hear from you if there is any problem about that definition or not. Thank you, Chair.
Through the chairperson, there is a problem with the positions. As a PAS, we request that these 3 positions be revised or completely be removed because they are not a professional secretary.
And what are those positions, those 3 positions? Maybe you can be naming them as the page 13.
Conclusion 15.
Oh, I see. So you are suggesting that these should be removed completely?
Yes.
And what should be there? How do you suggest? What's your submission? You know, your colleague maybe can help. Can see she's salivating to speak.
Through the chair, what we are looking at are executive assistant secretary, senior personal secretary, administrative assistant, executive assistant secretary, principal executive secretary assistant, and we are looking at the administrative assistant. Just like it is in the offices, these people are not just given officers, they're not given offices. These people are allocated offices according to their positions. So these are above. They do as we say. The definition of a secretary in this clause is based on a do as we say. It's as good as saying copy and paste. We have typing pools where we have supervisors. So those are do as we say. If I'm given to type there, I'm not supposed to change that word from there to another. So that is the secretarial part that our friends are handling. We are dealing with the people that are above. We are dealing with the people that make decisions. If I receive a letter, Madam Olivia, this is a letter, respond. I have to respond to that correspondence. With what I am going to do, with the draft that I'm going to make, my boss may use the technical language now involved. But with the do as we say, you can never, it has to be written, then I go and I submit.
Thank you so much, Madam Umbewe. Honorable Shakafuswa.
Thank you, Chair. I was adamant to ask questions when I was in that chair. Now I have the freedom to ask. So I note that in the definition, the professional secretary means, and allow me to read, a person who has obtained a qualification in shorthand, typewriting, and possesses a secretarial certificate, diploma in secretarial studies, or degree in secretarial studies, and includes typist, stenographer, a legal secretary, personal secretary, senior personal secretary, executive assistant secretary, administrative assistant, and principal executive assistant. I note that from stenographer, the legal secretary and the other positions do possess very high qualifications. How come you have no problem with the legal secretary being called a professional secretary? Number two, I'll take you to part 4 of the bill. Part 4, number clause 11, and it reads, there shall be classes of membership with rights, privileges, and obligations that may be prescribed. In view of this part, is a PAS willing to merge with this association, since it will provide for different classes of membership? I thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Shakafuswa. You may proceed to respond, witness.
In a PAS, the stakeholders are administrative officers who do not possess these classes. They are hospital administrators who do not possess any of these qualifications. There are executive officers who do not have this shorthand. And as it is now, the members of a PAS are of this cadreship. The members of the Professional Secretaries Association of Zambia are purely secretaries. The members of a PAS, they are senior than the secretaries. We have defined, maybe if you can Google, you can read, you can research. When you talk of a principal executive assistant chair, this person provides direct supervision to clerical, even secretaries, direct supervision. This person works with a high degree of independence. A secretary's work is do as directed, and the secretary's work is of routine nature and highly repetitive, requiring low analytical skills. As a secretary, I'm confined to be directed by my superior. When you talk of merging, I don't see how that is possible, because the owners of a PAS, they are superior, they are bosses. They look specifically on administration. I understand that this house will understand if you look broad in maybe your public or private institutions, we've got administrative officers and their entry point is a degree. Administrative officers in public administration. When you look at the position of this assistant, executive assistant, I think we should understand that it's not every position that will carry the word of assistant or secretary, that they are the secretaries we are talking about in this bill. I will cite an example.
Honorable Mandant.
Okay. We will cite an example of maybe provincial administration cabinet office in our own Republic of Zambia, provincial administration cabinet office. We've got positions like a permanent secretary. We want to make you understand that it's not every word that will carry a secretary, that you are a secretary being talked about in this bill, that different classes or categories. We have deputy permanent secretary. That's not, it's just an example. That's not a secretary we are talking about. We also have assistant secretary at provincial administration, cabinet office. Is this assistant secretary as this one we are talking about in here? Of course, no. This is not the person. Different qualification, i.e. public administration. Whether with different classes, what this bill is talking about, according to our analysis as a PAS, in their definition, it's talking about a professional secretary with shorthand and typewriting. We also want to elaborate to say that a secretary who have a diploma in secretarial or a legal secretary, as was mentioned in that question, a legal secretary will have the qualification of a shorthand. Moreover, without shorthand, you are not a secretary. Without shorthand, you are not a secretary. A legal secretary has got shorthand, but has got also the components of legal, because they specifically work for lawyers or legal departments, so they understand the language of a lawyer. Remember, a secretary do as directed. How will you do as directed as a legal secretary when you don't understand the framework of a lawyer or a legal personnel? So as a PAS, we are saying those different classes, as was read in another clause, which will have different categories. When they have different categories, a principal executive assistant without the shorthand, this person is not a secretary. We submit.
Thank you so much, witness. Any addition, Madam Wetwa?
Just an addition on the last one concerning the legal secretary. Working for a legal firm also will take you to higher heights, and because of the qualifications of secretaries that have done a diploma or a degree, some people, if they work for that firm, of course there's some legal component of learning, but some of them it's through experience. Therefore, the legal secretary, we feel it falls off. These ones that we have put in clause 2, the 3 that have been mentioned, we definitely want them revised. I submit.
Thank you so much, Madam. Madam Umbewe. Any questions, honorable members? Thank you so much, witness. Thank you so much, honorable members, and thank you so much, Secretariat. This brings us to the end of this session. We are extremely grateful that you found time to come and make your submission before this very important committee. We wish you God's blessings, and kindly allow me to withdraw the immunity that was given to you at the beginning of this meeting. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
favor. So almost 300 people still missing.
For the next 5 days, the three of us was inseparable.
Johan is like the Incredible Hulk.
Just one day, mama, ukasekelela,
batata bampala bamayo bampala elolesa basumina uyo aparo masomo wenda aine nikorele mikoko kashimu kwenda kwesu nangwe vintu vilipe nangwe vintu vikose kalelesa enenda uyo aparo mwana wandi masomo wenda kalena pange shira yobe mikoko kimote the blessing winds
Elo Yesu afwile asendele fyonse ubuchushi asenda ele noma afila mwana wangu oh nakupala kale I am blessed for life, you are blessed for life, we are the seed of heaven. Even in the period of famine, our seed will germinate, germinate. Oh, this storm is not for you, it's not for me. We are set apart.
bakutimba batimba bakulanda balanda bakutukana batukana kalelesa balanda uyo aparo babamumbie onakubala kaleli nangwama vyayaima ifingunga vyaisa amaluele ya palama nalolesa basire uyo aparo musolenda masomo wenda uwende
Nangote wakafyankanuka uyo